It's like offensively expensive, or is like reasonable?
Sorry, can we ask the question again, possibly, please? Okay. Sorry, it's a technical thing.
Sure.
Let's say that you're starting from scratch, you're new in a city, you don't have relationships, you don't have money, you're not a rich guy, but you want to get into these clique clubs. How is reasonably affordable to be a member and then just go there?
It's very, very, very easy, because what I'm going to do is when I go through clique clubs in detail, I'm going to explain to you how any single person can, one, find out where these clubs are, and two, get into these places very, very, very simply. Both clique clubs and tabloid clubs. They more so of tabloid clubs because they spend a lot of money to make it easy for you to turn up. Clique clubs they're not so much easy to find, but if you know how, and if you know how to look for them, again, it's somewhere to answer your question, it's very, very easy. It's not something where you've got to shell out masses of money for. I'm going to talk about money if you have it, how to spend it wisely, but this is something, once you've got your identity and your lifestyle sorted out, as long as you guys all looked well, like you dressed well, that's probably the most important thing, that you're a friendly, outgoing person that's cool and people will relate to you and talk to, as opposed to having masses of money. Because I'm going to teach you guys how to be very, very creative in creating each of these currencies if you don't have it, okay? As a students of the game, the one thing that you guys will definitely be able to do is get that one. And it just so happens women make the world go round, and we can use women, but we can use your knowledge of women to create any one of these currencies. And even if your knowledge of women isn't that great, you can use your knowledge of people skills to get to there and create any one of these currencies. Once you've created one of these currencies, very simple to get into any of these places. Very, very easy. And I'll go on to explain that in more detail.
In the tabloids, we spoke about women being very important to the tabloids, and so is publicity. However, what's the most important thing in a clique club? I mean, yes, the people who are going to go there are going to have money and they're going to know relationships, but how would you differentiate between the two?
Right. Firstly, the guys, it tends to go hand in hand. Wherever you find places where people are spending a lot of money, you tend to find good-looking women. It just, don't ask me the theory behind it or the exact dynamics behind it, it just tends to happen. So reason being is that if you can imagine the scene, at a clique club, a very typical scene is one or two guys with loads of drinks around a table and a throng of women, okay? So you, with your 25 girls, going there, no one's really gonna like bat an eyelid, because there's 5-6 other guys there who've got just as many girls as you, as many good-looking girls as you. If you look at the example of where we were yesterday, right? Other than the guy sitting opposite us, and there was one other table where there was a promoter there who had girls, there's not many groups of people who have that many good-looking girls around them. So when you do that somewhere like that, it goes so much further. It's just so much more noticed. Again here, sometimes people kind of see it as you're trying too hard if you've got like a throng of women around you, if there's not a reason for it, as in you're a host, or you'll see like really, really rich guys who've got loads of drinks around them and loads of girls with them as well. It is the reason why these don't transfer to this is because publicity, private places don't want publicity, in the general sense of the word. They kind of want the right publicity to the right people. So the way they contain that is by keeping an eye on what relationships they're making. They obviously want women in there, but that's a given because one, they've set themselves up as a private place and established it by bringing in people that are going to spend a lot of money, and ties into the different kind of social hierarchies, like things like fashion, events, and people in the fashion industry. I mean, what a lot of the clique clubs have in common is the people running them have already a very vast network of individuals who are celebrities, who are in the social elite, aristocracy. If you look at an example of, there's the club that opened in London a couple years back, or maybe 18 months ago, the owners were very, very good friends with the royals when they opened that club. That club's a private members club. So, as you can see, it's quite a very, that's why I could call it cliques, because it's very, if you don't understand it, if you don't know how, it's very, very interpersonal. Everybody's got a relationship with everybody. Everybody knows everybody. So that's why these are so important. And it's just a given that if they spent the time building the relationships, which the people that get hired to run these places already have done, the money will be there because they've made relationships with people who have money or influence. Money and influence, pretty similar. And the women are just going to follow, because for some reason, I don't know the reason why, very, very, very good-looking women are rare to find day to day, but united in their rarity, all at very, very high-end clubs. Don't ask me why. We don't really care. We're just going to tell you how to get in there and do your stuff and like really, really understand how to get ahead in these places.